What is wrong with this team? Everything. I don't know what is wrong. Like, it's just never easy, is it?
Lin Dunn didn't just throw Stephanie White under the bus, she floored the gas pedal and launched that thing at full speed without a single tap on the brakes. And Indiana Fever fans? They're absolutely spiraling. The drama erupting in the Fever front office just escalated to a whole new level of chaos, and let's be very clear, this isn't just drama for the sake of headlines. This mess could have serious ripple effects on Caitlin Clark's future. This isn't some petty feud. This has the potential to rewrite the entire narrative about how the league treats its brightest and most bankable star. So here's the real question. How do you feel about front office execs dictating how coaches should manage generational talent? Should Coach Stephanie White be fired? Or does she deserve more time? Let us know in the comments, but I'll say it, fire Stephanie White. Yeah. I said it. Let's not sugarcoat this circus. I'm here to unpack every single explosive detail of this full-blown soap opera playing out in Indianapolis. Because Lin Dunn didn't just speak her mind, she went full scorched earth on social media. And when a seasoned executive starts airing grievances publicly like this, it's not just smoke. That's a 5-alarm fire erupting inside the organization. Lin Dunn, former GM of the Fever, now serving in some unclear, senior advisor role, posted a message that turned heads instantly. She wrote, "Don't expect the players to do something in a game if you haven't drilled it in practice." On the surface, maybe that sounds harmless. But let's be honest, everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. The shade was loud and clear. Now let's rewind a bit. Remember how this season was supposed to go? The Indiana Fever came into the year like they were building a super team. They stacked the roster with veterans like Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and Sydney Colson, players with playoff experience. It looked like they were assembling the Avengers. On paper? Dream team. In reality? Sloppier than a toddler's first attempt at finger painting. But here's where things really go off the rails. It's not just about the losses piling up. The real disaster is how Caitlin Clark is being used. You've got the most electric offensive player the league has seen in years. She didn't just break records, she broke the internet. And what does Coach Stephanie White do? She takes the ball out of her hands and stuffs her into a motion offense that sucks the life out of the game, and half the fanbase too. Let's be honest, this offense has been brutal. Unwatchable at times. And Sydney Colson, as the point guard? Absolutely terrible. Now for those lucky enough to never have seen this motion offense in action, picture a bunch of players playing hot potato, just passing the ball in circles and hoping something opens up. That's the offense. It looks like something designed for high school gym class, not for elite professional athletes. And when you've got someone like Clark? That system isn't just a misstep, it's sabotage. That's like buying a Lamborghini and refusing to drive it faster than 20 miles per hour. They had 0 fast break points. Yes, you heard right, 0. In an entire game. That's a coaching problem. Look at what Clark did at Iowa. She was the offense. She ran a free-flowing system where she called the shots, lit up scoreboards, and made magic. Just last week against the Liberty, she was responsible for 54 points between scoring and assists, because she was allowed to run the show. But White? She seems allergic to giving her control. She keeps jamming her into a system that completely strips away everything special about her game. Then came the explosion online. Lin Dunn, once the mastermind behind the Fever's roster, now awkwardly sidelined in a vague advisory role, posted a not-so-subtle jab about coaching and preparation. And let's not pretend we don't know who that was aimed at. It came right after another painful loss. The offense looked broken. Players looked confused. Clark looked frustrated. And the fans? They were one bad possession away from storming the court with pitchforks. Dunn didn't just toss shade. She practically faxed a list of everything wrong with White's system to the public, and fans are done being polite. One brutal fan comment said, "The fans are turning on Stephanie White, and fast. These aren't casuals tuning in once a week. These are ride-or-die Fever fans. If they're bailing this early in the season, that's not a red flag. That's a neon billboard that says, 'We've seen enough.'" Let's be real, they looked embarrassingly bad without Caitlin Clark. And I mean bad. A good coach figures it out. A good coach adjusts. But does this team play defense? No. They don't defend. They don't rebound. They don't hustle. Their only hope is that opposing teams miss shots. And that's on the coach. Period. What's even more frustrating is that all of this could have been avoided. People were warning about this months ago. They said putting a creative, fast-paced player like Clark into a rigid motion system was a recipe for disaster. They begged the coaching staff to build around her strengths. But nope, White thought she knew better. And now? The results speak for themselves. To make matters worse, White got fined recently for publicly criticizing the referees. But maybe, just maybe, she should be more focused on fixing her own playbook than pointing fingers at the officials. Because the real issue isn't a missed call here or there, it's the fact that this team is wasting a once-in-a-generation talent. Let's break out the stats. When Clark is on the floor, the Fever's offensive rating is 107.5. When she's off, it drops to 82.2. That's a 25-point swing. That's not just a dip, that's a complete collapse. You can't have 0 fast break points unless you are actively trying not to run. One person nailed it online: no defense. No offense. No heart. Outside of Lexi Hull and Aaliyah Boston, maybe, and even then, Boston barely touched the ball. This so-called motion offense is supposed to create rhythm and flow. What it actually does is suffocate creativity and stall momentum. And when you have someone like Clark, who sees the court in 4K before anyone else blinks, you want her improvising. Slinging dimes. Creating magic. Instead, she's passing sideways. Standing still. You wouldn't tell Steph Curry to only take layups, so why are you forcing Caitlin Clark to play like a role player? And let's not even talk about the decision to take the ball out of her hands. This is Caitlin Clark we're talking about, the woman who led Iowa to 2 consecutive national title games, shattered every scoring record, and turned the WNBA into must-watch TV. She's a first-team All-WNBA player in her rookie season. You don't rein her in. You unleash her. But the Fever didn't just tie her hands, they got rid of her coach. They erased the entire system she thrived in. And you know what? As much as it pains me to say it, Lin Dunn may have been right all along when she said it would take 5 years to turn this team around. The final gut punch? Lin Dunn isn't just anyone. She's the architect of the Indiana Fever's only championship run. She was on the sidelines in 2012 when they won it all. She knows what a winning culture looks like. And when she starts sounding the alarm, that's not smoke. That's fire. And if you still doubt how bad White's system is, just look around the league. Look at what Vegas is doing with Aya Wilson. Look at how New York lets Sabrina Ionescu operate. Other teams are building around their stars.